First of all, hello to Jack. Good morning, Jack.
Hello.
And Kerry, you're there as well.
Good morning, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. Let's get into it. Jack, first of all, Nigel said over the weekend he was upset by this, that he's not going to be on the negotiating team. What's your take on that?
It's a complete and utter joke. You've got Boris Johnson now and other leading Tories like Dan Hannan saying free movement's got to stay, we can't get rid of that. You've got Boris Johnson asking for the government to give out passports to illegal immigrants. These people have completely changed their tone, and in my eyes, and I said it all the way through the campaign, it wasn't the Vote Leave campaign, it was the Vote Boris campaign, it was the Tory campaign for him to be Prime Minister. I'm still unsure if he even cares and supports Brexit, but it was just in the best interests of his career. We can't trust them, we don't want them, the establishment's got to go, we've defeated the EU, and now it's time to turn our guns on them and get rid of them from Westminster.
Kerry?
Well, I actually think we have a certain set of conventions in this country, and if we start breaching and breaking them, we end up causing problems further down the line. Now, I think what might be the appropriate manner, because let's face it, I joined UKIP back in 2005 when if you was out door knocking, you used to have to say to people on the party, we're the party that had Robert Gilroy Silk for a little bit. And people go, oh, yeah, you don't like Europe. That's exactly that. So I think the appropriate thing to do, bearing in mind he's been in the European Parliament, Farage, since 1999, would be possibly to give him a peerage in the House of Lords. There's a lot of experience there, and maybe a couple of other UKIP MEPs like Gerard Batten. Because obviously once Brexit starts going through the Commons and ends up to the Lords...
Would you have him... Kerry, would you have him on the committee then?
Well, if you do that, then Alex, then you'll have the SNP jumping up and down. We want to be on there. The various parties in Northern Ireland, the Welsh nationalists, and then before you know it, you've got a cacophony of different ideas within our own team dealing with Europe. We need a small, concise team to actually negotiate with Europe because it's going to be really, really messy.
Jack, would you consider the Nigel Farage for a peerhood, to a knighthood and into the House of Lords?
Well, the way the Tory party have been giving out knighthoods and things to anyone that's done anything in politics, they've given several to a few of their own. Well, for 25 years he's been ridiculed and harassed by the media, the other political parties, and he's finally achieved what he set out to do all along. And it was no easy trek, but he's stuck to his guns and he's achieved it. But we've got to look at what the other parties are doing. They're not interested. They campaigned against Brexit. They've never wanted it. And we were the only political party that went into the last general election with a costed manifesto, and the only one that had any plan to what post-Brexit looks like. So rather than look at the only thing the Tory party cares about, which is the interests of the Tory party, let's put the country first for a minute. We're the only ones that have got a clue what's going on. We're the only ones with a costed and sensible plan. So why not do what's in the best interest of the country and let UKIP not lead the show, but feed in the ideas, because we're the only ones that understand what's actually happening now.
What I don't understand, gentlemen, and Kerry, you pick up on this first, is now that the work's been done, and we've done the EU referendum, why doesn't Nigel Farage just say that's it and UKIP have done what they're here for, they wanted to do, they got the EU referendum, we're out the EU, why doesn't he just pack it in?
Well, there's no need for any, actually, that's going to be something that's going to come up this week. Well, most of the British MEPs are either Conservative or UKIP. I mean, in our region, 6 out of the 7 of them are. So it would make sense if none of our MEPs bother turning up this week to the European Parliament. They've done what they need to do. When I was a member of UKIP in the very early days, it was a controversial issue, UKIP MEPs turning up to Brussels, but it was agreed that they had to be there to actually make the case for Britain's exit. Now we've achieved it via the ballot box. There's no point in being there. But I think to myself, if any MP goes against the grain of what the people have said in this referendum, come the general election, we got rid of.
Jack, should he go?
No. At the end of the day, this is nowhere done. This is the very, very, very first step. And let's not kid ourselves. Those saying Brexit's been achieved are well short of the mark. Several times European countries have voted against the EU and then they've been told they've got to have another referendum, and they've changed the result. So let's not trust the EU and the establishment. They've done it several times before. Let's go out there and make sure we deliver this Brexit before anyone talks about throwing in the towel. And let's remember, people are saying UKIP's finished. I didn't join UKIP just because I agreed with the referendum. There was many other things like getting back grammar schools, which the Tory party hate, getting back control of our tax laws and changing the way we do our tax to make it more simple and stop these big corporate establishments being able to avoid tax left, right and centre. And UKIP's not dead and done. UKIP's just getting started.
Jack, let Kerry come in. What were you going to say, Kerry?
All right, can we correct that point about referendums and referendums? Now, when the French and the Dutch said no to the EU constitution, they changed it to this Lisbon Treaty. And when the Irish were given that same question, they also said no to the constitution. The Irish said no in a referendum. It was amended so you could get through their political elite. So there had been them changes. But the fact of the matter is, we have said, do we want to be a member of the European Union, yes or no? Now, if the European Union wants to rename itself and amend itself as the constitution, i.e. the Lisbon Treaty, then that's a different argument. But I can't see that happen.
I don't remember Boris Johnson during this campaign saying, and Dan Hannan for that matter, saying if we vote to leave, we're still going to keep free movement of people. They were waving their arms around the Vote Leave, Vote Boris campaign, saying, oh, take back control and all this stuff. Well, quite frankly, as soon as we've won, they've renegade on their promises, started throwing their toys out the pram and showing all they really cared about was lying to the people in this country and getting Boris Johnson into Westminster.
Jack and Kerry, we've got to call it. I just want to ask you one last question. Should it be Sir Nigel? Yes or no? Kerry?
It should be the grassroots activists like Jesse Pryke, Ken Whedon.
So that's a no. Is that a no? No for Sir Nigel?
Most certainly. It should be the grassroots who got UKIP.
Jack?
Not people drinking the champagne.
Yes or no?
Why not? I think Nigel's changed. It's the most influential political figure in my lifetime, so the way the Tories give it out to everyone, surely it's got to be Sir Nigel.
Thank you. Kerry Smith, formerly of UKIP, now independent councillor on Basildon Council, and Jack Duffin, UKIP councillor for Stamford East and Corringham Town in Thurrock.